Well, the movie is titled Alejandro. And no, it doesn't have an H. Well, it's talking about our artist of the week is Samojo. He's a Nigerian American actor and producer. Sam produced the movie called Alejandro, and he produced other indie movies in the UK and US, and recently the one that we call Alejandro. He was born in a city well known for arts and culture in Nigeria. Major dying, not dying as in death, but dying as in changing the color of a thing, and a UNESCO World Heritage. Yes, you know. So his father was a renowned photographer in the 70s, and there were numerous known art dramatists in the city. And well, let's not tell all of his story. Let's allow him to tell his story for us. Samujo joins us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Wow. For a second, my colleague here thought you were someone else. Are you impersonating anyone? Okay.
Who have you been told that you look like?
No, it's still the same me. I have never changed. So I'm really glad to be with you this morning. Thank you.
Well, the question is, I mean, for one, some could mistake you to look like someone else, like maybe a Kunle Afolayan. She actually said, well, "Is that not Kunle Afolayan?" I said, "No, that doesn't even look like a photocopy."
For real, I get that a lot. You know, even before I decided to go into movie production, I will be at the airport and a lot of people were like, "Are you Kunle Afolayan's brother or are you Kunle Afolayan?" And I say, "No." And they will say, "Oh, you look like Kunle Afolayan." I say, "Oh, is that a compliment? Because is it that Kunle Afolayan looks like me or I look like him?" But whichever way, thank you. It's a compliment. I appreciate that.
For all we care, you look like each other. We don't know who looks like.
Full stop. Yeah. One looks like the other.
Yeah, just like a story I heard in the course of the week that there was a man driving on the city of Lagos and he looked exactly like the president. But I don't even know. I don't know what to say about that one. But Sam, so walk us through your journey into filmmaking. You always wanted to do this, or was something that just happened?
No, it just didn't just happen. I have always been an activist all my life. And apart from that, I grew up in a family where creative art is at the top notch. My dad was a photographer, very renowned photographer from where I came from. Apart from that, I was born in a city where creative art was at the top notch as well. So I've always liked to make a movie or tell my story in a different way. And as I grew up back then in late 70s and early 80s, I was so passionate about a lot of social vices in our society, particularly injustice. And I realized after moving out of Nigeria, I realized that injustices are everywhere. You know, we always complain about so many social vices in Nigeria, but upon moving to UK and later to the United States, I realized that, man, it rains everywhere. So I decided to start telling the story and contribute in my own little way to the society by telling a story that actually happened and tell it to the authority so that something can be changed. And that's why I decided to make this movie. Before I made Alejandro, I have done some short films and some feature films here in the state of Oklahoma. But this is the biggest commercialized feature movie that I'm producing.
What is the story of Alejandro? Tell it to us in like 4 sentences.
Okay, 4 sentences, that would be difficult, but I will try to make it really short. So this story is about a man that is considered a lesser man in the society. And the name of that person is Alejandro Gomez. He is a Mexican, and he was about to be railroaded for the crime that he did not commit. So he was about to be sentenced. He was found guilty, and he was just about to be railroaded. And there was another guy in the state of Oklahoma who was not considered an appropriate person. He's a successful lawyer, he has an accent, and he lives in Oklahoma. You don't usually see that. And this guy stepped in on allocution on pro bono for this man. But the real moral of the story is when he stepped in to help, he wasn't even thinking of maybe the outcome of the case, but he was thinking about how helping another person has actually helped himself to be a better person in the society. And that's exactly the moral part of it, that when we face an adversity, we look up to the Lord who can be our help.
That's an interesting angle to take it from, but more issues to be raised on that when we return from this break.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Now, Sam, let's look at you as a person. Let's leave Alejandro and your filmmaking for a bit. Tell us about you, and why did you check out?
I think it's about time to check out, to be honest. I've been in my own little world doing my thing, and I decided that it's about time to start telling my story. So to make it really simple, I was born in Osogbo, now Osun State. Then it was Oyo State. And I attended Federal University of Technology, Akure, where I studied engineering, geology and engineering. Then I worked for oil and gas for a couple of years. Then I decided to go into the entertainment industry. So I went to film school here in the state of Oklahoma, and I trained myself to be an actor and a film producer. So, and that's exactly why I am producing this movie right now. But the real reason why I am doing this is to tell our stories to the world. For example, in Alejandro, I'm sorry, taking you back to Alejandro, we tried to educate Nigerian people about other culture, about Mexican culture, quinceañera, for example, how quinceañera is done. And even for the fact that we are educating Nigeria on Alejandro, the pronunciation of Alejandro, I think is one achievement that we made from my production crew, because a lot of people will say Alejandro. And I really appreciate that. And another main reason is, like I mentioned earlier on, I have always been an activist. I really want a better world, and I want to change things better for my children coming after me. So if I see anything that is wrong in the society, I want to make it in a picture where people in the government, people in authority, people in leadership will see that, and maybe we can start talking about it. Maybe there will be a change, and that's the main reason why I decided to make the movie Alejandro.
When you say you are an activist, it definitely doesn't sound like human rights activist, but in what area?
I am actually a human rights activist. I have participated in a lot of struggles, even when I was in Nigeria, during the days of Abacha, Hope 93, MKO Abiola. I was in the forefront in Tinubu Square over there. I've always been in the forefront. Even when I was in college, in the university, I was a public relation officer for the student union, and I was in the NANS as well. So upon moving outside of Nigeria, I still participated in anything activism, Black Lives Matters, or anything that is important to me. I am highly opinionated person. So I always want to tell my story. Of course, I listen to other people's view and I try to make a very good intellectual decisions.
A huge population of youths all over the world now, and Africa no less, more so Nigeria. And there's a lot of disillusionment, so to speak, and because opportunities are limited as far as many of them are concerned, and the future is definitely coming. The future, we cannot pause time. The future is coming. What would you be saying to anyone so we do not have a bleak future, but we have a certain and sustainable one?
You are very correct. The future is coming. I would definitely advise anybody around the world to actually know your onions, regardless of where you want to live, regardless of what you're doing. If you decide to be an engineer, be the top-notch engineer. Let me use myself as an example, and this is not to brag or anything. I worked for oil and gas, and I was in the management. Like, if you have to compare that with the Nigerian territory, what I was managing was like the whole market in Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea for my company that is actually based in Nigeria as well. So the reason why I could achieve that was because I made sure that when I compete with other people, I actually know exactly what I'm doing and push myself really hard to do better. So this is what I would encourage anyone. Know something. If you're a plumber, if you're an electrician, whatever that you decide to do, make sure that you know it very well inside out. Understand the trade and the craft, and then, look forward to the future.
Okay. Sam, in parentheses, where are you in Oklahoma?
I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Well, Tulsa happens to be second home for me. But in the meantime, what are you working on at the moment?
So the movie Alejandro is actually going to be out. So we are doing the post-production right now. I mean, the post-production is done. Sorry, I apologize for that. It's completed. So we are working on putting it on the cinema here in the US, and of course, with some other cinemas back home in Nigeria as well, if possible. And we are at the conceptualizing stage of another movie, which is called The Center of the Universe. And basically, there is this popular saying that there is center of the universe in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I want to make that a movie talking about strange people coming from Nigeria to see where there is center of universe and they find themselves in Oklahoma sometimes. I don't want to give you a spoiler about it because we are still developing the concepts and see how we can educate people and inculcate our culture into it.
Any plan for using more Nigerians in that movie?
Oh, absolutely. And that is exactly my goal. I really want to collaborate with artists, actors and actresses from Nigeria. And I want to get more people here to Nigeria as well. Like what you were discussing before I came on board about Damini Ogulu and Ayodeji Balogun, winning the Grammy Award and stuff like that. This could be possible because they were able to collaborate with great artists from the United States. So, and that's exactly my passion and my vision. When I have met with some of these big producers here, I always talk about this and talk about the market in Nigeria and what we can do together.
Yeah, we're looking forward. Yeah, we're looking forward to more of that because ultimately That's what it's about. Nigeria to the world, right? Sam Ojo is
Yeah.
a Nigerian-American actor and producer, and thank you so much for your time and thoughts this morning, and all the best with Alejandro.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And that wraps up the show for today. We shall bring you a fresh one next week. I'm Alero Edu, wishing you all the best till we see you again next week.
And I'm Ayo Makide. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.